Hello, everyone, and welcome to MasterExcelNow. This is your friend Anuj, and I will go ahead and take today's subject, which is finding the minimum and maximum in your database. We will also see how DMax and DMin, which is duplicate max and duplicate minimum, works. So on screen, I have a database that I will be working with for these examples, wherein I have the region, east and north, the products, laptop, tablet, keyboard, and phone. Then we have the sales numbers, the quantities, and the month of sale. So in order for us to identify what has been sold the most or the minimum, we will use minimum and maximum. So here in cell G2, I want to identify the highest or the lowest sales. So in this case, the lowest. So we start our formula with a equals to or a plus sign, and we type minimum, MIN, bracket open. Then we select the range. So here in this case, I will go ahead and click on column C and hit enter. So 400 is the minimum number in sales, which is here. See, everything else is greater than 400. So let's go ahead and make a change. I am going to change this 900 to 100 and see the minimum changes. Let's undo these two changes. Perfect. Now, similarly, I can find out the maximum number of sale. So we go ahead, we start our formula with an equals to MAX for maximum, bracket open. Again, I'm going to select column C, which is my sales column, and close the bracket or hit enter. Excel automatically closes the bracket. And here it says 2000 is the highest number in sale. So this is our row where the information is. Everything else is smaller than 2000. So if I go ahead and increase this 1900 to, let's say, 3400, the number will change. Let's go ahead and undo these two changes that we've done. Now, the Dmax and Dmin. So far, what we've used is max and minimum. They only work in one particular range right now. What if you want to identify that these two products are working in more than one condition? For that purposes, let's go ahead and first make our criteria. So our criteria is I have copied the entire header from my database here. And now I'm just going to quickly make a drop-down list for region, product, and month. So I click on my cell, which is G5, go to data validation, click on data validation, and I choose from list, source. I have a master sheet that I created where I have, the unique values from my database for region, product, and month. Here, I'm going to select this and click OK. Similarly, I'm going to go ahead and create a data validation list for my product. And when I click on source, go back to my master sheet, select the products that I have, click OK. Then I'm going to go to month and click a data validation where it says any value change to list. Click on source, go to my master sheet and select the months and click OK. So now if you see, I have east and north. So let's select north, for example. The product, let's say tablet, and month, let's say January. It's not mandatory that you have all of them for DMax or DMin. You can choose any one or more than one. That's up to you. So now we go to Dmax. Now we start our formula with an equals to. Dmax is duplicate max. So we say Dmax. We want to identify based on our criteria which is the highest value if it is a duplicate. So we say Dmax. Then we select our database. And our database is from cell A1. So normally we select from cell A2, but in case of DMax, because we are using the same headers in our criteria, which I'll explain later, we are going to select the entire database, right? once we've done that, it's always a good idea to press F4, which changes the area or the range into an absolute range because it adds a dollar sign before the alphabet, the number, and then for the end of the range, the alphabet and the number, which is your column and row number. Then we say comma. Great. So we've got the database ready. Now it says which field. So field is identified by the header. I want the sales. That is my field. Perfect. Comma. Now I want criteria. So criteria is this. Once you've selected the criteria, you can press F4 again for an absolute reference. Because we have created the drop-down list, it is easier for us to absolute the value. So if you're working with a large data set, I would advise spending that 30 seconds to create the drop-down list. Close your bracket and hit enter. So it says in North, in tablet, and month of March. So when I go here and I check, so North, then I have tablet and March. So there is only one entry, which is 950, which is this one. So let me go ahead and highlight this for you. Let's go ahead and make this January as March. So I'm going to type March and hit enter. Now, if you see, the second value that we just changed is 1050, which has changed. Now, the database is checking if sales of region is North, the product is tablet, and the month is March. And between these two, 1050 is higher. Right? Let's undo our changes. Right. Let's change the region to from north to east. So now in this case, east and tablet, we only have one entry, which is in March. Right? Perfect. Let's delete the month. We don't need the month. It's still 900 because east and tablet only has one entry. Let's change from tablet to phone. So now what it does is it says first region is east, product is phone. So if these two are true, tell me which is the highest sales value. So if you actually see, I'm going to highlight those again. I have 4 entries for east and phone to be true, and the sales numbers are 1300, 1700, 1600, and 1300. The highest being 1700, which is listed here. So this is how DMax works. Let's undo our changes of color. Now let's check D minimum, which is duplicate minimum. Sometimes you want to identify the minimum value. For example, you are going to have a talk with your team and your sales team will be there, your marketing team will be there, and you want to emphasize on dropping sales of a product, which is your concern. So you should have those numbers handy. That can be done easily by using D minimum. The formula starts with an equals to DMin. So we start DMin, bracket open. Then database, again, we are going to select the database all the way from the headers to the end, and then press F4 for absolute value, comma. Field is sales again. So I want to see sales, comma. Then criteria, I'm going to use the same criteria that I have here. Press F4 for absolute value, close the bracket or hit enter. Now, let's highlight the data again just to make sure that we understand it. So these are the places where I have the information that I'm looking for. Here, the minimum value is 1300. So there are 2 months in the month of February and in the month of March, the phone sales were 1300 and it gives you 1300. Now, if you want to filter it further, you can add a month. So now I want the month to be March. So in February, I have 2 sales per phone, 1300 and 1700. So the number is 1700 and 1300, right? But for the month of March, there's only one entry, which is of 1300. So I go ahead and select the month as March. See, the maximum and the minimum is 1300 because there is no other value for comparison. But in February, I have two values, 1700 and 1300, which are mentioned here. So finding the minimum and maximum in a database and finding the same product sales, the minimum and maximum can help you make a wise business decision. Think of it as a business which has multiple stores selling the same product, and you want to identify the strength and weakness of what is selling where so that you can focus on that area. Or identify why your sales for a particular product or a range of product is less in that particular area. Is it the marketing? Is it the people? Is it the customer requirement? Are we assessing the market wrong? So it could really give you powerful insights to understand how your data can point to a solution or point to the right problem. I hope you like the information. Please do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.